Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Rebecca Darish here with a look at your weekend forecast. This weekend we've got some interesting temperatures going on, so we are looking at potentially record-setting lows across the state of Florida and even record-setting snowfall in the area. We have a nor'easter that is going to be going up the northeast coast, bringing lots of snowfall, potentially upwards of a foot in Massachusetts and the Boston area. And now we have a beautiful live look. So 54 degrees currently. Our temperatures are beautiful right now, but that is going to change very quickly. We're looking at 50s across the area, getting a little bit warmer as we get towards the coast. For our muggy meter, we are very dry, and we're happy about that right now. However, it's not going to work out too well in our favor as we get into the weekend. Tonight in Tally, we're looking at 29 degrees for our wind chill advisory. Tonight's headlines, we're going to have cold and winter storm, but we're going to learn about that more as we go into the segment today.
Thanks, Becca. And much of the story, this edition of FSU Weather really has to do much with the cold, really in our area and much of the East Coast, with potentially temperatures in the 20s here, and then even feeling like in the teens as we get into tomorrow morning, and even into Sunday morning. We actually are under a hard freeze watch, for our area, and that will continue really through much of the region as we get into possibly next week. We might see a warm up. But now back to the wall with Becca.
Thank you, Aaron. For our current local temperatures, we're looking at 50s across the board. So it's a little bit cooler up in southern Georgia. Gets nice and warm as we get towards that coast. 53 Crawfordville. Tallahassee is sitting at 53 as well. Our dew points, again, are fairly dry. Those are going to be dropping across the weekend. Right now, Tallahassee's at 38 in Crawfordville, and a little bit drier in Donaldsonville up in the northern portion of our area. For the future radar, we are looking at that cold front pushing its way across the state. That was some of the cloud cover that you had seen today, and it's making its way across the state, meaning it's going to be fairly clear this weekend, which is a little deceiving for how cold it actually will be. Tonight in Tallahassee, it is going to be fairly cold. This is starting the first part of our cold weekend. So we're looking at 35 degrees in Tallahassee overnight. Again, it is going to be significantly colder as we move into the morning hours. We are actually going to be under a wind chill advisory. I believe the lowest temperature is predicted to be 19 degrees with wind chill in Tallahassee. So make sure you are on the lookout for that. That goes for every city that we're seeing here on this map is going to be in that wind chill advisory. So everyone in this area definitely going to be colder than what you're seeing right here if you're up early in the morning on Saturday morning. Tonight in Tally, 29 degrees, and again, we are seeing that wind chill advisory. You'll see some higher wind speeds, northwest, 13 miles per hour. That's what we're going to be seeing as that cold front pushes its way, the clouds break, and allows the air to cool off. For our beach forecast, not the best day to go to the beach in my opinion. It is going to be sunny, however, it's going to be frigid out there. 46 degrees, the water temperature with 58, and we do have some pretty significant wind there with gusts at 25 miles per hour. For our Tallahassee weather alerts, again, the main stretch is that wind chill advisory. If you happen to be out in the hours of 2 a.m., coming home from a late night, or leaving early all the way through 11 a.m. Saturday morning, we are under that wind chill advisory with temperatures in the low 20s, even potentially in the teens. I don't know if you guys have been in those temperatures before, and I can tell you from my personal experience, it is not pleasant. Make sure you bundle up. We are also going to be under a hard freeze watch. So that means temperatures below 23 degrees. That poses threats to plants, people, pets, and pipes. So don't forget to cover up your plants. For the week ahead, it's going to be sunny during our weekend, and then clouds are going to move in with a potential cold front towards the end of the week. I'm going to hand things over to Aaron. He's going to show us a little bit more about the forecast.
Thanks, Becca. And really, for much of the East Coast, will be very frigid this upcoming weekend, as we do have a developing system over the East Coast. You can see that actually this cold front will be dipping down and actually merging with this low pressure, which actually brought us some of that rain earlier in the week on Tuesday. And that's going to go ahead and slide up the eastern seaboard and bring us potential for some blizzard conditions for places like Boston and New England. So if you are in those areas, you might want to watch out and heed any warnings from your local weather service. But across much of the map, you can see we do have dual cold fronts off to the near Missouri and then down off the coast of Florida. That's what's coming by right now, and that's what's going to bring us our chill tonight. But out west, you can see high pressures in effect pretty much across the west coast because we do have a ridge off to the west and then a trough, of course, that's going to help bring us and usher in more of that cool air over here in the east coast. But our satellite and radar shows that storm actually forming right now over the East Coast. You can see some of the snow is starting to fall over places like Indiana, Ohio, down towards the Tennessee River Valley. And we do have some moisture as well down by the Gulf. We actually do have some showers just off to our south, but that's going to push off to our south tonight and might bring a few showers, possibly. A few hit or miss showers we get into places like Central Florida this evening. But we do also have some showers as well up in the Carolinas. You can see that it looks like some showers just offshore and then some showers just in the Piedmont and up into places like Richmond and Norfolk, Virginia. And of course, a little bit of ice as well in the foothills and Piedmonts in the area. And again, if we zoom in closer to the south central U.S., you can see some of the clouds and rain associated with that area of low pressure and cold front sagging down just to the south near the border with Mexico, near Brownsville, some showers, and over towards our area, a few sprinkles offshore. And then closer look at in the mid-Atlantic, you can see that area of low pressure starting to get its act together near the Carolinas, and of course that will push off to the northeast and also possibly what meteorologists call bombing out, which basically means that the barometric pressure lowers about 24 millibars in 24 hours, and that's possibly may occur near New England. So you might have to watch out for that if you're in those areas. But snow behind in Tennessee, and then of course rain in the central and eastern part of the Carolinas. And in the New England, you can see we already actually have some snow forming or falling, I should say, near places like New York, New Jersey, down towards Washington, D.C. And that will pretty much set the stage for the cold temperatures that will help with the snowfall as that low rides along the East Coast. The big picture across the nation, you can clearly see where the cold fronts are at. Cold front right here along the central portions of the eastern U.S., like Memphis is at 41, currently 53 in Tallahassee. But out west, for our friends in Seattle, 48 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Our lows compared to average show the picture of what's going to happen this weekend with those dark purple and blues across much of the East Coast, east of the Mississippi River. And our dew points are bone dry across much of the country, with just South Florida making it into the green zone. They're at 57 degrees, which basically means you have a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere as compared to Tallahassee. But again, with those cold temperatures, really doesn't mean much, especially when it comes to at least how moist it is in the atmosphere. Our water vapor shows, again, that low area forming right off the east coast of the United States. That will push off to New England as we get into tomorrow and Sunday. And out west, you can see this low actually just cut off low just off to the southwest of California. That might bring some rain to along coastal sections, but not enough rain, though. And our drought monitor shows really not much drought out east, but out west, we are seeing plenty of drought conditions, which will unfortunately not be able to fix itself anytime soon. In tomorrow's highs, we'll see cold temperatures out to the east and mild temperatures in the central and western portion of the U.S.
Thank you, Aaron. We're going to take a closer look at the southeast, so much of our viewing audience potentially. Currently, we're looking at mostly overcast skies in the area. Gainesville is still experiencing that cold front, as well as Bowling Green. It looks like it's clearing up in Atlanta. For the satellite and radar, we have that cold front pushing its way across Florida. You'll notice that there's some precipitation with that. In the south, mostly rain. However, up in Kentucky and Illinois area, we're getting a decent amount of snow associated with that. Taking a closer look, there is still quite a bit of rain that's going to be making its way through the area, so there could be some spotty showers. Most of them are off in the Gulf right now, but those will be moving onshore as the evening goes on. Likewise, we have a major precipitation event occurring right now as it makes its way up to the coast. Some storms and showers off in the Atlantic. However, you'll see they are impacting the coastal areas right there, definitely getting some rain. For our Euro rainfall forecast, we're looking at about half an inch of rain in the southern portions. However, as that system makes its way up into the northeast, you can see that that could potentially lead to 0.5 to 1.5 inches, which can potentially often lead to significantly more snowfall. For our watches and warnings, we have some winter weather warnings out right now as that system makes its way up to the northeast, and in Atlanta and much of Georgia actually, they're under a red flag advisory, which may not be as familiar as some of the winter weather advisories. That is fire warning. So there are definitely conditions favorable for fires right now, so they're advising not having any bonfires, and of course I think it's a little too chilly for that right now anyways. For our current temperatures across the area, things are fairly cohesive, ranging from the low 60s to the high 40s. Of course, that's going to change as we get that cold polar air mass coming down from the continental air over the weekend. So things are still fairly favorable in my idea right now, but that is going to change as we move through overnight. Dew points are fairly dry as we are in the northern portion of our area, so not as much moisture, a little bit more as we work our way down, with the only semi-moist area being South Florida, sitting at 58 degrees. Our water vapor, you'll see that this is a very visual depiction of that moisture in the air. So not that much. We'll see it's very dry, pushing its way across Florida right now. For our future radar, things are going to clear up for us here in Tallahassee and much of Florida. We're going to have clear skies over the weekend, but that again allows for those colder temperatures to be moving through. Tonight's lows, we are looking at lows in the 20s, and again, that wind chill advisory is going to be bitter. And for tomorrow's highs, it's going to be clear, but it is going to be cool. So we're looking at a high of 48 in Tallahassee and 40s across the region. Aaron's going to help us out with the rest of Florida, taking some closer looks at what's going on in our big cities.
That's right, Rebecca, and I'm actually going to bring on my friend Kenan, the iguana, to highlight the fact that we might have some falling iguanas near Miami. And of course, the name comes after our winter storm that will be developing this weekend across much of the mid-Atlantic. But starting off in Panama City Beach, it was a very nice day today, and that's because of that cloud line that is moving off to the east with some of those showers in places like, well, just passing Tallahassee. So Tampa might get a few showers as well as we continue on through the rest of the evening. But across the Panhandle, you can see temperatures, or not temperatures, excuse me, the satellite and radar. We can see that cloud deck that's slowly but surely moving its way through the area. See, Tallahassee should be out of the clouds by maybe about an hour or two. But places like Panama City over towards the west into Pensacola might actually see even more cooling this evening, thanks to that possibly or more radial cooling because of the cloud deck moving out of the way. Our current temperatures across the state are currently in the 60s to the north, about I-4 northward. I-4 southward sitting in the 70s across central or south central Florida, and places like Miami and the Keys down in the 70s under mostly cloudy skies, again because of that cold front that is draping its way through about the I-4 corridor near Orlando and Tampa. And our muggy meter shows, again, where that cold front's at, right here between Tampa and Orlando. Dry to the north, moist and somewhat wet and cloudy to the south. Although it's not terribly muggy, though, because we do have some smiley faces near Miami and Fort Myers. But of course, we actually have smiley faces across the entire state. But of course, if you are going to pinpoint where there is moisture, it is still down in South Florida. Our future radar shows the clouds and rain moving away from the state, and we're going to filter in that Arctic air. It's going to pull in dry air across the state. You can see not a cloud or even a shower in the sky possibly until Sunday in 48 hours or so. And again, that has to do with the cold front's going to pass by and bring down a lot of Canadian dry air and cold air. And that's what's going to make those temperatures bottom out in the 20s, especially to the north, and 30s across central and even South Florida. Miami may even see some of those 30s. And again, I allude to the iguana as well. We might need to watch up in the sky because we might have an iguana alert down near Miami. Tonight in Florida, you see 30s and maybe some upper 20s in the northern part of the state along the I-10 corridor. Down towards central Florida, might see some 30s near Tampa and over towards Orlando. And then down to South Florida, will we eventually be clearing out. Key West will be sitting at 50. In Miami, again, down to 39 degrees, which is something you don't see quite often over there. Tomorrow's highs are going to be in the 40s, which is very cool but bone chilly, of course, how it feels. And then down to the south, even places like Tampa is meeting at 49, and then down to Miami in the 50s as well. But now I'll turn things over to the desk with Becca to talk more about winter storm.
So while Florida might not be bone chilly tomorrow, I will tell you a place that is. We are looking at winter storm blizzard warnings across the Northeast. Currently, they have a nor'easter, so that might not be as familiar with anyone who's from Florida. However, you may have heard the term. Nor'easter is a storm that moves along the East Coast. It typically develops in the Georgia, Carolina coastal area and then makes its way up the East Coast and dumps rain and precipitation all along New England and even up into Canada. They get their name since they typically go along the East Coast and winds are from the northwest. We have lots of precipitation and there's a big buildup that is going on amongst this storm that is coming. So again, what it's going to bring for the Northeast this weekend is heavy rain and snow. So you saw earlier, it's currently dumping rain across the East Coast in the Carolinas, making its way up. As it gets into those cooler temperatures where it drops below freezing, we're going to see frozen precipitation in the form of snow dumping across portions of Massachusetts, Connecticut, anywhere that's in that area on the coast. So they are definitely on the lookout. What you should do here, make sure you have a plan. You have plans for power, food, and warmth if you catch yourself in these conditions. It's not to be messed with. Try and stay in, bundle up, and stay warm. Aaron's going to give us a closer look at what that forecast is going to look like.
That's right, Becca. And with much of that winter weather talk that you just heard just now, we're going to go and moving into our winter weather segment. And again, the big story this weekend is going to be that blizzard from that bomb cyclone off of the coast of New England. So places like Boston are actually under a blizzard warning currently. So do take precautions there because you can see upwards of almost 10 inches of snow, if I remember correctly from the computer models and from the forecast as well. But the snow is already down towards Washington, D.C. You might see a mixture of ice and some rain, but it looks like now it's transitioning more over to snow. And then, of course, rain further south from there. But here's the GFS snowfall potential. Again, as we get into Saturday, we'll see those accumulations start to appear, and then we'll get even higher amounts as we get closer to Boston. And so maybe we might see about an inch or so according to the GFS model. Higher amounts as we get into the upstate New York, 18 to 24 inches near Buffalo possibly. And then, of course, these are our watches and warnings. You can see the freeze warnings for about the Delmarva Peninsula all the way up into near the Canadian border. And we do have those winter storm warnings, of course, behind that. Winter watches, I should say, but behind that for places just north of New York City and then over near Philadelphia and down to the mid-Atlantic. And again, we already actually have snow on the ground for places like Tennessee, Kentucky, and over towards the Appalachian Mountains. So places like Cincinnati, Nashville, and Knoxville are already starting to see snow accumulations right now. Of course, this will eventually pull itself together and pull northward, affecting places in New England as we do see that bomb cyclone bomb out tomorrow and into Sunday. But we do see already some rain as well in the Carolinas. That will probably transition over to some snow possibly tonight into tomorrow. So we'll have to watch out there if you're there. And again, here are the snowfall amounts. You might see below an inch or so if you're around Raleigh or Charlotte. And then, of course, down to Myrtle Beach, might see a little bit amount. But you might see some higher amounts as you go towards the Smoky Mountains, over towards western North Carolina. Might see around 3 to 6 inches possibly in the mountains, but they're very isolated in nature. Then, of course, more as you head over into New England. Our watches and warnings, again, we do have that winter storm watch across places of North Carolina. But again, the northeastern U.S. is going to see what the brunt of that as that low pressure pulls off to the north and affect places like Boston and much of the area. But now I'll turn things over to Becca.
Thank you. We're going to talk about something a little bit more uplifting, in my opinion. We have lots of sports going on this weekend. You'll notice behind me the clouds have finally broke from our overcast day, and we have a beautiful sunset at Doak Campbell Stadium currently. I love to see those pinks and purples in the sky. Our satellite and radar, again, is clearing up. That cloud cover is pushing its way. We're going to have a nice and clear night, but yielding some cool temperatures. The highlight of the weekend for many people is going to be our men's basketball game. It's tomorrow at 3 against Virginia Tech. So I'm hoping for a win for our Noles starting at 3 p.m. It's going to be 44 degrees. Again, that sunshine might deceive you. It's going to be chilly. despite the fact that men's basketball is a huge sport here, there are several other sporting events if you find yourself wanting to watch something indoors or from your television set. We have men's tennis tomorrow at 11 a.m. So that's going to be 41. That is in Gainesville, but I'm sure you can find it online to watch comfortably from your bed. Women's tennis is going to be also at 11 a.m. and that is also 44 degrees, nice and sunny. However, again, bitterly cold in my opinion. Track and field, another sport to watch. So if they're starting at 7 a.m., which many track and field events go all day long, it's going to be 26 degrees, cold. So if you happen to be a fan of our Knowles track and field, make sure that you're cheering them on as they run through that cold. I would not want to be that person. For our women's basketball, a great women's basketball team we have, starting at noon, it's going to be 49 degrees, nice and sunny again, and luckily our basketball games are indoors, so that is a great place to be if you'd like to watch some sports this weekend. We're watching that cloud cover move out, having a nice and clear weekend, and we are loving watching our Knowles play sports, so we're hoping for wins this weekend as that sunshine shines in those cold temperatures to warm us up.
I'll certainly roll on the Knowles to win from the comfort of my own home with a heater this weekend. But today across the area, you can see we hit a high of about 60 degrees in Tallahassee, which is roughly normal, I would say, or about average of where we should be this time of year. And so it wasn't overall a bad day today to be out there. We did, of course, have a few clouds to come in, but that was ahead of our cold front, which is now moving through the area, moving away from us tonight. Our low temperature, you can see, is 13 degrees, and we won't get to that temperature tonight, but it'll feel like that as we get into tonight with our wind chill advisory in effect. But look at the sky behind Doak Campbell Stadium. A beautiful sunset, or actually just occurred behind Doak Campbell Stadium with those purples and oranges on the camera. But we are currently at 54 degrees with some light rain that will end early, and we see that winds are actually starting to howl out of the northwest at 12 miles per hour, and that will pick up as we get into the nightfall tonight. And that's the rain that's going to move out of the area. You can see it's over in Cross City and over to the I-75 corridor right now. That's our cold front that's currently moving through the area, and it'll be further south as we get into the rest of the night tonight. Our current local temperatures, we are sitting in the 50s across the area. Our cold spot appears to be up towards Donaldsville in southwest Georgia at 50 degrees right now. But we're currently in the mid to low 50s here in the Big Bend. Our muggy meter shows the dry air starting to filter in behind the cold front across the Panhandle and north central Florida. But we do have that cold front again that's around near Gainesville that will eventually push down to the south and will bring even drier conditions over there. Tonight's forecast, we're seeing 30s everywhere. 35 in Tallahassee, up to 33 in Thomasville, and possibly freezing as we get towards Bainbridge. But then down by the coast, we might see a little bit warmer, 37 in St. Mark's and 36 in Carabel. Our beach forecast, if you do dare go to the beach tomorrow under the cold temperatures, we will be at 46 degrees in the air tomorrow on Panama City Beach, 58 degrees in the water, so very chilly anywhere you put it. But of course, we'll have those winds coming out of the north-northwest at 15 miles per hour with gusts possibly up to 25 miles per hour as well. And of course, we will have those surf 1 to 2 feet, so be careful if you are headed to the water tomorrow. Future radar shows those clouds moving out of the region tomorrow, and we'll filter in a lot of sunshine as we get through much of the day tomorrow, and be very beautiful in terms of weather conditions. But as we look through the week ahead, you can see it's pretty much a roller coaster as we possibly see another cold front as we get into next week. But until then, bundle up this weekend.
We're going to take one more look at our weekend forecast to see exactly, maybe cement some of your plans depending on the weather. That rain is moving out, thankfully. I hate a cold rain. However, cold temps are definitely inhibiting on some of my plans this weekend. Tonight in College Town is going to be a chilly 30 degrees. And again, we have that wind chill advisory. It's going to blow the heat right off your body, and it's going to make it feel so much colder. So that 30 degrees is more of a suggestion. It's probably going to feel significantly colder. So if you happen to be going out tonight and facing the chilly temps, make sure you bundle up and stay warm. For our stargazing forecast, it's going to be fairly good over the next 2 nights. So as we mentioned before, that cold front's clearing out, allowing for clear conditions. That's bringing in the cold. However, that also doubles as clear skies. So we're looking at fair conditions with a 19% full waning crescent. So if you happen to be a stargazer or just want to take a look up at the sky, you'll probably be able to see some beautiful stars. For our airport delays, that cold front's out. Any risk to the delays is gone. So there are delays unlikely for the airport if you happen to be traveling this weekend. And for Saturday date night, I might have to suggest here that you choose to stay and maybe have a nice movie night, because if you go out, it's going to be 24 degrees. You're going to want to find something warm to do. Maybe cuddle up, watch a movie. It's going to be chilly with a hard freeze watch happening overnight on Saturday. For our men's basketball game, again, that's at 3 p.m. against Virginia Tech. We're hoping for a win for the Noles. 44 degrees, so make sure you're bundling up on your way there. And you can take it off when you're in the stadium with all the people. However, it will be chilly on your way over. Dog walk forecast. You might want to save it for later in the day when it's warm around 11 a.m. And I'm going to hand things over to Aaron with one last look at the local.
Thanks again, Becca. And as we start to wind down our Friday edition of FSU Weather, we'll take one last look at our weather recap. This weekend will be very chilly, especially on Saturday, with temperatures only rebounding into the mid-upper 40s. So very cold in terms of Florida standards. But we will eventually warm up, so don't worry. Eventually we'll get into the upper 50s as we get into Monday of next week. But look at our nighttime lows are sitting in the 30s, and this Friday should be about 24. So very dry and chilly across much of our area, and really means you got to bundle up out there, because we are under a wind chill advisory tonight into tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning it could feel as low as 19 degrees possibly across the area. So do make sure you do bundle up tomorrow morning, because especially with possibly hypothermia or frostbite possible, if you don't take care or protect yourself from that. But then again, we will have our hard freeze watch as we get into Sunday morning, as we'll see temperatures in the 20s across the area. So it won't be as chilly, but it'll still be very cold. So make sure you do protect those pipes, those plants, those pets especially, from any damage. Because again, when the temperature does freeze, water does tend to expand in the pipes, and that can be very dangerous and possibly cause any pipe bursts, and you don't want any of that. So do protect your pipes in time. But now I'll take things back to Becca to close off the show.
Thank you, Aaron. We have a lot of weather going on in the next 48 hours. People have been very interested in what's going to happen. Are we going to get below freezing? Are we going to set record temps in Florida? Are we going to set record snowfall in the Northeast? Only time will tell. However, it is important that you guys stay updated with these chilly temps and unnatural conditions for us Floridians. Make sure that you are bundling up, you are staying warm, you are planning accordingly. If you live anywhere with exposed pipes during that hard freeze watch on Sunday night, you're going to want to make sure that you keep the water running just a little bit to keep those pipes from freezing and causing unnecessary expenses. So make sure you guys are bundling up this weekend. Maybe stay in. It's a great weekend to study, have some hot chocolate, watch a movie. Great movies out right now. So we are hoping that you guys stay warm and safe. So again, always follow us on Twitter for some updates. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather. And watch us live on YouTube every weeknight at 6. We have an Instagram as well, and that's at FSU Weather, where you can see some current updates. That is where you can find us, and we will let you know what's going on and keep you in the know. But until next week, we hope that you have a safe and warm weekend, and that you guys are able to stay warm and enjoy your nice and cold weekend, Tallahassee.